The timeline was spicy yesterday as a Hell in a Cell style team up happened with a three-way standoff between COD pros and owners talking trash to each other as Hastro, Courage JD, and JCap all fired off tweets coming just short of challenging each other to death by combat. Plus, one of the most decorated Rainbow Six Siege players of all time announces his retirement and decides to pursue making content full-time. And TSM CEO Andy Din apologizes after telling a pro he would be working for minimum wage after the player called for the repeal of the import rule in the LCS. All that and more next on The Breakdown. COD feuds erupt after Empire go 3-0. This past week, we've seen a lot of Call of Duty action as the Super Week of matchups went down, pairing up the CDL in double and even triple headers to cram in last-minute matches before the first major of the season for the esport. The Dallas Empire ended up going undefeated to win their group and earning a first-round bye in the upcoming major tournament by going 3-0. They capped their streak off with a solid win over the newly formed 100 Thieves LA squad, and being one to never ignore stirring the pot, the head of the Dallas Empire's parent org, Team Envy, Hastro, jumped on Twitter to start a wrestling match on the timeline. That was a big-time match versus LA Thieves last night for #1 seed in the COD League Major. Got the 3-0 and the Thieves are suddenly quiet again. I mean, not even a mention of the match before or after on some of those timelines. That's how you know you've asserted dominance. And that's the tweet heard round the timeline, as we had former pro JCap, who also happened to play for Hastro all the way back in 2014, jumping in and adding, "Don't you ever get tired of this shit, man." You also had Courage JD, a well-known streamer who also has ties to 100 Thieves and is known for his huge exclusivity deal with YouTube, also chimed in saying, "Cap, come on, bro. Hastro has to be the one to tweet when Envy wins a match because there are no Envy fans to do it for him. Just take a look. They've averaged a combined around 4,000 subscribers across their 3 YouTube channels this year. I'd rather run a successful, well-rounded business." There was still plenty of back and forth Twitter chirping between the three of them, but really, there's some bad blood here. Plenty of other people, orgs, and accounts commented on the beef as well, but according to Courage, no one was upset, and it was just some good old Modern Warfare lobby-style banter. I didn't get upset, I just trash talked back. Some good old Modern Warfare 2 lobby vibe type of stuff. Nobody's upset here, he said. While this is not exactly earth-moving stuff, it's still pretty wild that this is where we find the CDL in 2021. While other esports seem to be facing the issue of having the orgs be bigger than the owners and the players, in the Call of Duty League, players and their presence are still the leading actor in the story. Lots of drama seems to be coming on an almost weekly clip for the esport. And while some trash talk can be seen as healthy, how much longer can stuff like this go on before it moves from calling people dog water to actually seeing it translate into championships? Pengu retires from Rainbow Six to become full-time content creator. Rainbow Six Siege is an esport that may not be as massive as the League of Legends of the world, but it has a hardcore and dedicated fan base that makes legends of its standout players. And that's where Pengu found himself, a player who rose to fame as the face of R6 with G2 Esports, becoming the face of European players over the past few years, before ultimately deciding this past week to step down and become a full-time content creator. Pengu announced the move in an emotional video released that looked back on his career. And if you've been following Rainbow Six Siege over the past few years, there will be for sure a moment or two that you recognize in this montage.
My name is Niklas Pengu Mortensen, and I am the longest lasting member of the current G2 Esports roster.
Yeah, my titties feel sore.
He's gonna fight against Usain Bolt.
Playing to be the absolute best was what created us into what we can call the legacy team that we were.
And to reiterate something that Pengu says in that video, he isn't retiring because he isn't. And to reiterate something that Pengu says in that video, he isn't retiring because he isn't backing. And to reiterate something that Pengu says in that video, he isn't retiring because he isn't playing up to standard anymore or from a lack of tournament wins, but more so because he just wants a change of pace. He's climbed the tops of lots of competitive mountains, and now he's fully embracing becoming a content creator. He promises to never fully walk away from the game, something fans are quite excited to hear, but he deserves the ability to try something new and find a way of scratching that Siege itch. TSM CEO apologizes for minimum wage insult, gets fined by Riot. The League of Legends community has been engaged in a heated debate regarding the alleged request made by LCS owners to remove the import rule that allows them a certain number of foreign players to make up their roster, with the discussion between TSM CEO Andy Din and pro player Felipe Vulcan Laflemme ending with Din issuing an apology for his comments. Vulcan tweeted out on February 19th that if teams want to build a full import team, why don't you go buy a team in that region? with Din responding that his take was an ignorant one, stating he'd be working a minimum wage job without the LCS. Ignorant tweet. If every LCS team left LCS, you'll be out of a job, buddy, and probably be paid minimum. Plenty of outcry followed, forcing the TSM CEO to post a public apology and a long diatribe on Medium about the state of the LCS and what the future could hold in regards to the repeal of the import rule. It is now a pivotal moment to discuss changing the import rules and also looking for other solutions to even the playing field or see ourselves relegated to the status of a wildcard region. But posting an apology apparently wasn't just enough, as Riot Games fined the TSM CEO $5,000 for the tweet, as confirmed by League of Legends interviewer Travis Gafford.
The drama to turn it into like I didn't want to veer into like TMZ, but there was some speculation on the last Hotline League that Andy could have gotten fined for what he did with Vulcan, and I guess I can say now that I reached out to Riot, who confirmed that he did get fined $5,000 for conduct unbecoming. So, yeah, that's the news there.
Vulcan, for his part in the saga, said that he doesn't take it too personal and wasn't affected by it. I didn't take it too personally, he said. There is, in my mind, not much to apologize for. As an owner, I think he could show better composure, not attack me in a way like he did, but it's fine. What do you think? Was the tweet over the line for the CEO of an esports org, or are people just being too sensitive? Let us know on Twitter at CheckpointXP. That's it for the news today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're always posting brand new content right here on our YouTube channel. But did you know that Checkpoint XP is the only syndicated radio show in over 70 cities across the US and Canada that talks exclusively esports and video games? If you go to our website at checkpointxp.com, you can see where we're airing and if we're in a city near you. And while you're there, check out the podcast feed for the breakdown and take the esports and video game news on the go. My name's Weirdbeard, and Elden Ring leaking is cool, but let me know when they finally put a release date on it.